We're good? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Waiting, okay. In the event of an emergency, all people may exit right or left from this room and proceed to an exit door. All doors will open from the inside. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Haledon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the North Jersey Record Herald News, the board's official newspaper, on January 15th, 2025. Notices of this meeting indicating date, time, and place were posted publicly on the door of the main entrance to the school and filed with the clerk in the municipality of Haledon. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cerna, Mr. Coletta, Ms. Quadrado.
Here.
Mr. Guzman.
Here.
Mrs. Johnson. Mr. Martinez.
Here.
Mrs. Esser.
Here. Okay, so since we don't have a quorum, we can't, we're gonna skip over the appointment of a board vice president. The correspondence we're just approving, so, we're just accepting it. Can we move on that, or should we skip over that?
We can't vote on anything.
So, yeah, if you typically vote on correspondence, then you can't do that either.
Okay, we just
We'll
vote
just
to
circle
accept
everything
it,
that
but
we
that's
got.
fine.
We'll
We'll
circle
move
everything
on. Let's just go to the reports. Let's do that. Okay, so I'll start. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I want to begin with congratulating Carlos Motzko on his appointment to the Haledon Borough Council. I also want to thank him for his years of dedication and service on the Haledon Board of Education. From helping the board and administration navigate the COVID-19 pandemic to overseeing the district's finances as chair of the Finance Committee to supporting overall board work, Mr. Motzko has served dutifully and diligently. We thank you, Mr. Motzko, for your commitment and teamwork, and we wish you the best in the next endeavor serving our Haledon community. And we have a certificate here for Mr. Motzko, who's not here, so we'll make sure that he gets it. Congratulations are in order for Lillian Turkowski, a caring and familiar face in Haledon Public Schools cafeteria as a lunch aide for 32 years and as a crossing guard in the borough for over 30 years. Lily was recently honored by Haledon's Puerto Rican Committee at their second annual flag raising for her dedication and service to HPS students and families. Thank you always for keeping our kids safe, Miss Lily. Best wishes for a wonderful retirement. Okay, so now it's time for, we're at the September meeting. It's time for our check-in on our board goals. So these are different from district goals. These are goals that the board came up with for ourselves during our retreats to help us work better as a team, help move district business forward. So our first goal is increase commissioner attendance at board and committee meetings. This was a board that was approved on August 23rd, 2023, and it has been since approved since then. So from January through August of 2025, which was 11 board meetings, there have been a total of 16 absences. For that same time period of January through August 2024, which was also 11 board meetings, we also had 16 absences. So after that, there were 11 more absences from September through December 2024, making the total number of absences for that year 27. So I'm hoping that we'll do better. I mean, this meeting isn't a good indication of that, but I'm hoping that we'll do better this year. I'm hoping that we won't have, as many board member absences from now until December. It's important for all the board members to be here, first of all, so that we can move our business forward. But secondly, if we're all here, we're all getting the same information, we're all hearing the same things, we all get a chance to have our input. And we work better as a team. And if we work better as a team, we're going to serve our district better. We're going to serve the students better and the staff in the school. And it's just kind of common sense.
Excuse me, Mrs.
Yes.
No other board members online?
No,
Not right now.
No.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Once there is, we can
Yeah.
call it, we can call the meeting to order and start officially. Okay. Also, just a reminder to board members that our virtual attendance policy allows for 3 virtual attendances without prior approval. On the 4th and last allowable virtual attendance, prior approval must be requested of the board president. In addition, no more than 2 consecutive virtual attendances are allowed. So, and please note that cameras must be on when attending board meetings virtually. This is for board members, obviously. Okay, so our second goal is prioritize dynamic and creative approaches to board professional development, which will foster teamwork and increase commissioners' knowledge. So this was also a continuing goal. It was originally phrased that the wording was originally increased professional development for the board as a unit. And that was approved on August 23rd, 2023. But in 2024, we decided that we kind of wanted to flesh that out a little bit. And we wanted to note that professional development for the board didn't just have to be official trainings or workshops or, meetings or, webinars, things like that. It could be just discussions on educational topics during board meetings. So that's why we expanded the language on the second goal. We did that in 2024, June 26, 2024. So to that extent, board members made suggestions and we've discussed the following topics to date. What is the teacher staff recruitment, screening, and hiring process? So Mr. Waka gave a thorough presentation of that in October of last year on how he and his team recruit teachers and staff. He also discussed challenges in this area, given the teacher shortage that has been a reality for numerous years now. The second topic we've discussed is how does HPS develop and update grade level curricula? So how are textbooks and other materials chosen? We had a presentation that was given by Ms. Troy on November 6th of 2024. And she discussed math coaching and how she works with teachers to develop curriculum, lessons, activities, et cetera, and how the data is used to assess student progress. The third conversation that we had was on February 10th of 2025 regarding cell phones in schools in general, and then HPS's policy on student cell phones in the classroom. So at that meeting, we looked at articles on this topic and other New Jersey districts' policies, as well as pending legislation from the state. We discussed HPS's policy and felt comfortable with the practice of teachers collecting phones at the start of class and returning them at the end. A couple of other suggestions that we haven't covered yet, but that we are hoping to discuss at a future board meeting. What grants or RFPs does HPS seek and why? What is the process? What is the success? What is our success rate? And this would include state, national, local, and private funders. The next one, how does artificial intelligence play into curriculum and student work? And that's a really important topic because AI is here to stay. So we have to figure out, the board should be aware of how AI is being used in school in general and at HPS specifically, and how we can leverage it in a positive way. What is the process for making special education out of district placements? And we're going to have a presentation from our Director of Special Services in October, right, Mr. Waka, on that at our October 29th meeting. So regarding this board professional, this goal of professional development, I think we're doing pretty well with this, but board members, please feel free to suggest any other topics for discussion. In addition, board members are always encouraged to participate in the professional development that's offered by New Jersey School Boards Association. They offer county meetings, and there's a meeting coming up next week, September 30th. Webinars and online trainings, and the annual workshop that's coming up next month. So these are all great opportunities to expand your knowledge on educational and board topics, and network with board members from across the county and state. So everyone's encouraged to attend those many events that they offer. But please note, board members, that this is, and I think everyone here knows this already, these are separate from the mandated trainings that board members must attend. These are separate. Okay, and then our last goal, our third and last goal, is to schedule, and this was one that we just approved this year. This is a new goal. This was approved on May 21st, 2025. Schedule updates on district goals in order to maintain consistent tracking and accountability. So, Mr. Waka, I'm going to ask you for our October 29th meeting, if you could give the board an update on our 4 district goals, and if you could provide, any metrics as well as any challenges, successes, and any other feedback that you think is, appropriate, so that we can see how we're doing and where we're at. And as a reminder to everybody, our 4 main district goals are based on number 1, academic achievement, number 2, social emotional learning, number 3, school safety, and number 4, facilities and sustainability. And most of those goals have individual objectives within those. Lastly, I want to thank the administration, teachers, and staff, as well as our students and families, for the smooth and successful start to a brand new school year. It takes a lot of planning, coordination, and cooperation to get the year off to a good and positive start. Each new school year brings for our students so much potential for new experiences, academic and personal growth, and important learning that shapes the year, and in turn helps our students become more educated, more well-rounded, and more prepared for the future. I wish everyone in the school community a wonderful and exciting school year with lots of adventures to look forward to. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Waka for his CSA report.
Thanks, Board President Isa. So it's going to look like we practiced this, but like what you said is going to sink in so perfectly to what I'm going to talk about. But first, I got my Diane Cartagena pin, and it feels the same way here that it felt, after we came back from when Corrado passed. It's a very similar, eerie feeling. But I appreciate that this was given to me. I guess as I'm getting older now, I appreciate things, really beautiful things, and that service at St. Philip's in Clifton, that was as beautiful as it gets. So I miss you, Diane, and I know we all do. So I know that for a lot of you, tonight was the first time you walked in through the new front doors of our school. And I'm really happy that this project turned out, on time, on budget. I know a lot of people worked really hard. We put out a video kind of explaining the procedures to the school community. We had about 500 people view it so far, and we've only really gotten positive praise. We've had some suggestions from people about how we can make it even better, but it's been really positive communication and feedback we've had. So we're really grateful for everyone that worked toward that. I want to review some key points that you'll see on tonight's agenda. But before I do this, I want this board to know that we're going to have an action-packed board meeting towards the end of October. At this board meeting, Mr. Mendez, our special ed director, he's going to detail the exact procedures that are followed that would result in a student being sent out of district to receive their education. I'm sure this board knows this, but we have an obligation to meet FAPE, which means we give a fair and appropriate public education. And when a child has needs that are outside the scope that we can provide the education to, then it's our obligation to seek alternative settings that specify in the unique needs that a student might have. So although we're not going to say, here's what this kid has, or here's what this student's dealing with, it's going to be a soup to nuts kind of overview of what could happen or what the steps are that would make it so that we'd have to send the kid out of district. At this meeting, I, along with fellow administrators, will also report to the board about results from our last state test that we took in springtime. And spoiler alert, they're positive. The news is positive for the 3rd consecutive year. We've had a net positive gain in our scores, and that's a testament to our amazing staff. This board really is so fortunate to have so many amazing staff members working at Haledon. And this feat is especially difficult because even if you take out the 8th graders that graduate, even if you take out the preschoolers and the kindergartners that begin their educational journey with us, this district has about a 25% turnover from year to year. And what we did in this report, and I really thank Ms. Troy, Ms. Ramos, Ms. Polzano, is we were able to extrapolate the data to isolate which students have been at Haledon for more than 2 years that have taken the test, and which students at Haledon have taken the test and have been here for less than 2 years. And I can't wait to show you the difference because it's stark. It's almost night and day. So I know that when you give us enough time, or when we're spending enough time with a child, our staff sees really positive results, and that's something to be incredibly proud of. And we do a really good job trying to onboard the kids that come and make up for the kids that go. But I'm just really proud that the ones that we have here we needed to see that the ones that have been here for a long time are doing well. And it was a really good thing to see. And the next board meeting as well, Mr. Sposato will come and deliver the state mandated school violence and vandalism report that happens twice annually. And I'm going to review the 4 district goals that our district made in our strategic plan a couple of years ago, and I'm really excited to do that as well. Item 3, so tonight we have one of our assistant principals, Ms. Polizano, is here. I know that her and her team have worked really hard, because not only is Ms. Polizano an assistant principal, if you're an administrator at Haledon, you're probably also a Title I director, or you're a HIB director, consultant, or there's a lot of entitled hats you're going to wear. Ms. Polizano is also our director of curriculum, and she worked hard with her team to submit updates of new curriculum. So if any board members have questions, we have someone that helped write this here. I reviewed it, and I think she did, as most things, a fantastic job. I do want to answer some questions I've received from board members in advance of this agenda, so we're on the same page. I'm not going to go through all the questions, but I want to review some of the more direct ones I received. I was asked what a Delta T8 is, and an aid this is a company that we use to procure aids for students whose IEP requires them to have aids. We hire some aides in-house, but there's just not enough, so we seek out to a third party to make sure that we're fully staffed with aides. Delta T is one of them. I was asked if Maker Night was eliminated, and I'm very happy that we're able to keep the program alive, even in a truncated form. I think it's a great program. Will we be able to keep it in the next year's budget? Well, I certainly hope so. That's the goal, but we'll have to make that decision when we create the next year's budget. I was asked if sick bank committee members get paid, and they do not. I was asked if the school pays for new teacher mentorships, and we do not. I was asked about a pre-K secretarial stipend. Now, this money comes from our preschool account. Our preschool is paid almost 100% by the state. It wasn't always this way. I know when Jeff and Ellen Fisher were on this board, we had 30 spots, and then Jeff was one of the people that actually advocated to get it to 45. Now we're at a point where we have 105 preschool spots, but there's no way we could have done this if the state didn't pick up the tab and offset the cost. But because we are funded by the state, the paperwork is incredibly cumbersome. It just is. They even come 3 times a year for surprise visits. And last year, they even came the day before Thanksgiving, which is like crazy. And this stipend account pays for all the extra paperwork, the ordering, and the help with registration that's caused by this influx of students as compared to what we had originally offered. I got asked about why we are approving staff members to facilitate a school dance run by the PTA. This board has always valued student safety, and this board hired me because I look to mitigate potential risk to the greatest extent possible. Programs involving students always run better when the school has staff members to help facilitate the events. Our staff knows the students, and our staff has access to student records. Our staff are all trained in things like CPR and EpiPen usage and AED, heart equipment. Our staff are like the quill of a feather. Like the whole thing would fall apart at an event like this unless you had them there. I wouldn't allow a middle school dance if I didn't have HPS staff members there to facilitate the event. So that's why I put that on there, and I strongly recommend you say yes. I vote yes. I was asked why one staff member is receiving a reimbursement cost for professional development trip and another is not. Good question. This is because they are carpooling, and the amount on the agenda reflects the cost of mileage to and from the event at the state approved rate. I was asked why the 8th grade trip is being moved to the American Dream Mall. The answer is that this is where the advisors told me that the students said they wanted to go. I haven't been there, but I know that there's a Nickelodeon amusement park kind of thing there, and it seems like the kids really like it, so that's where they're going to go on their 8th grade trip. The committee policy chair asked me if earlier in the week for a policy committee meeting. We held this meeting. The committee chair was not able to come. And there was one caveat that he wanted to introduce, so I guess he'll do that at his next board meeting. But the rest of the policies were mandatory policies that reflect updates in language that were better aligned within our policy to the New Jersey Administrative Code. The good news is in every year we've done a CUSAC, and we're going to do CUSAC again this year because we have our chronic attendance number, our chronic absentee rate is such that we're going to be on this list. Once again, I know me and Lanika, we're going to get a 100% score on the fiscal because so there's a lot of good things. So it's not like our policy is being changed because we were doing something wrong. It's just that this is what the Strauss estimate had recommended. And what I do think is a super cool thing. We're now obligated to screen all students, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, in preschool, kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and third grade for dyslexia. And I think it would have helped out a whole lot of kids over the years if schools had started doing this a long time ago. Ms. Pilzano, being the Hermione that she is, and her team have already completed this task for the year, and we're going to be sending home reports very soon to the parents that'll explain here's what the assessment is, here's the why, here's how your child's results in this assessment and what that means. I know that we have an NJSBA workshop coming up in a few weeks. I will be there for the first 2 days at least. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay the whole time, but I'm happy to say I was selected as a presenter again. This is the third time in 4 years I'll be presenting, so I'm excited. Now this board has heard me speak for about 10 years up here, whether as principal or my CSA role. So if you find another presentation Tuesday at 1 o'clock that's more interesting, I totally get it. But if you have nothing to do at 1 o'clock on Tuesday at the convention, I'll be happy to talk to you. I do want to talk about our parent liaison and something that I think is a real positive. In every year, and Bill will testify, and so will Jen, every year we've had at most maybe 30% of our parents registered on parent portal. And there's a lot of studies that show if parents and a child in the student portal, if they could tell you that their grade is and the why of their grade, the chances of them having a high grade are a lot stronger, right? But this with the transiency, it was very hard. But our Ms. Pilzano and our parent liaison and Bill's also done a whole lot of work, and I'm probably forgetting other people. But we're up to 80% of our parent population is now registered via the parent portal app, and that's a huge win. And I got information, this was just maybe yesterday, Lanika, right, where the most important document that any parent submits to us is the federal school lunch form, right? That's where a big indicator of what our state aid is going to be. We're a little bit behind on the collections that we've had in years past. We're not in like panic mode, but we're not at the rate that we feel totally comfortable with. So we're going to meet with our parent liaison later in the week. And we're going to say, listen, let's figure out how to identify which parents we still have to get this form from. And our parent liaison, who's bilingual, we're going to look to kind of have her kind of, nudge these parents and get these forms back in. Before I talk about Miss Lillian, I also want to say that, we are understaffed in our special services department, special education department, especially since there's two that we thought we were going to get that we didn't. I got a vendor interview coming on Friday, but we're not having a board meeting until the 27th. With the board president's permission, if I can reach an agreement with a vendor this is a multiple disabilities class, I need someone there. If I can reach an agreement, I want to start this person ASAP. I don't want to have to wait till October 27th. So I need you to say yes.
Yep.
All right, thank you. So now he's going to hope the candidate says yes. But our fingers are crossed because we need that.
And then, Mr. Walker, that person will be put on the October
It'll be formally
agenda.
put on the
Okay.
October agenda, but this is a must. It's an absolute must. And then last but not least, I want to wish Miss Lillian a wonderful departure from HPS. She was the best baker you're ever going to meet. Like, she was the best baker. She knew my wife ever since my wife was a little girl growing up in the Hillcrest section of Patterson, and she wrote me a really nice letter thanking the board and the school. And she was part of the fabric here. There's no doubt. And she was a crossing guard for the Haledon PD as well. But yeah, she was part of the fabric. So that's my report tonight, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
Appreciate
board
that.
members, any questions for Mr. Walker?
No, I'm with you with the necessity of getting that special ed.
It's MUST, yeah.
Is Mr.
Yes, sir.
Bisman?
I just want to, our new, our board attorney can look into what happens if we have our chief school administrator letting us know that we're in desperate need to hire special education staff and we can't get the votes to hire.
Can't get the votes, you need town.
Great question.
You can't hire somebody without the superintendent's recommendation and without the vote of 5 board members.
The
If you
first
have
part we can
a
get.
board.
The second part is where we're having trouble with.
Obviously, right?
Look, I can only tell you what the rules are. If they give me a little time, I'll try to figure out some alternatives. But it's a majority of the full board to appoint somebody. So if you have 9 board members, you need 5 yeses. And if we can't get them, we have a different problem. But I will look for alternatives.
We have
You know,
that problem.
Mr. Brown, right now, we are down to, so we're a 7 board member right now.
It's the majority of the full Board of Education.
Okay.
It's statutorily
Okay.
mandated as
Okay,
compared to a majority of the quorum, which would then you only need 5.
okay, okay.
So we'll need 4 if
You need 5 no matter what happens. Your
Even
full
though-
board is 9 members, regardless of the
even if it's
fact.
not a full board.
Yeah, even if you've got vacancies.
Right, so we have 2 vacancies right now, so
right.
hopefully after the October 29th meeting, it won't be an issue, but, okay. Okay, and just to that point, that Mr. Guzman made, you know, the Personnel Committee has made, and Mr. Guzman is the chair, has made a commitment to meet before every meeting, to look through all of the personnel items on the agenda, to discuss them with Mr. Walker, with the parts that are appropriate for Ms. Augustin to address, and so that they can, you know, understand it and they can report back to the full board. And so that the full board can be assured that this is a recommendation by the administration and by the Personnel Committee. So hopefully that will help the situation, so, okay. If there's nobody else, I just want to congratulate the administration and the teachers on the improvement in the state test scores. I think that's awesome. This is what we want to see. This has been a strategic plan goal, a district goal for, this is our 5-year plan. And I believe we're the 3rd year now.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you know, academic achievement is always a goal, no matter what, whether it's a on the strategic plan or not. That's always the goal of the school, is for your students to progress academically and to succeed academically. So congratulations, that's great. And we hope to keep seeing, you know, more and more improvement. And I also want to just mention, just because there are a lot of staff members here tonight that weren't.
I'm
at the
sorry.
au-
Come on. Yeah, come on. It's a big deal. Go for it.
I also just want to mention, just because there are numerous staff members here, at the August meeting, I did talk about Ms. Martina. And I'll just reiterate, you know, quickly, you know, what I said, that she was, you know, as gentle as she was with her students, and has loving and skilled also in dealing with her students, and she had a special population. She was a fierce advocate for her colleagues as the president of the union, and she is, you know, was always respected, and I know by her colleagues and certainly by me. And you know, I just condolences to all of her family and her friends, who I know her friends. I know you are all her friends and her family. So you know, my condolences, and it's our community's loss, it's our school's loss. But okay, so with that, I'm going to pass it to our business administrator, Ms. Augustin.
Thank you, Madam President. So my report starts with the board's 2 vacancies that we received within the last 2 weeks. We have 2 commissioners that resigned, one on September 11th and one just today, September 24th. Both of the seats have different end terms. So we're going to, I already put out an ad for the first commissioner, Mr. Matzo seat. His term ends 2027. And we have Mr. Ramadan's seat, which ends 2026. So both seats will have to run for election next year. So when they're appointed on the October 29th board meeting, they will run all the way to the December 2026, where both seats will have to run again and be reelected for next year. So the board vacancy starts at the time of the resignation is submitted, which we have 60 days as a board to appoint another candidate. And our just to give timeline, next board meeting is October 29th, but our next one is November 17th. That will be beyond the timeframe for at least MOXO seat that we need to fill. And like the process goes, if we can't come to agreement, it goes to the county. The county will probably kick it back to us and tell us to appoint someone. So, and you know, we just got to make sure that we hopefully have the right candidate for the board, and that person is accepted on October 29th. The deadline for the MOXO seat is to submit letter of interest is October 17th, and Ramadan seat is October 24th. Okay, so is there any questions on that if you need clarity on those two positions? No? Okay. I also wanted to piggyback on Mr. Walker's report on the food service applications, as this is a very, very essential piece of us developing our budget next year. So we really need our parents to fill these applications out. We at least need to be closer to the population that we're serving of applicants. And not only that, this also, the food service application also ties in some parents who might qualify for EBT benefits. If you don't fill out the application, you will not receive those additional benefits. So that might be something that we let the parent liaison know, to let parents know, because I don't think they realize how they tie together.
Yep.
Okay? But especially for our state aid, we really need this applications completed. I wanted to give a board the update on our assessment report. I did speak with the consultant, and from he let us know that the assessment report will be available, and the presentation will be available on November 17th. So he's still working on that. And there was some questions also about aftercare and certified angels financial position. So I just wanted to give a brief snapshot of the finances within the last 2 to 3 years. So the net position for our both programs combined as of June 2023, the net position was $600,000. The net position for June 2024 was over $1 million, and the balance of revenues that received as of June 2025 was $900,000, with the net profit to add on to our net cash position of $80,000. So our total balance of all our state receipts from our 4C program in the bank right now is 2.9. And the reason why we wanted to kind of note that is because there has been questions about the programs and how they're running. They're sustaining themselves.
There've been doubts, there've been doubts.
My report says it has been sustaining itself. It has been sustaining itself. The program funds itself and it pays for itself. So we are not in a deficit with these programs. They're, the parents pay their tuition. The state does supply extra funding to offset some of the tuition costs. And we're in a good position with this, with both programs. Okay? You're welcome. And no problem. And then the last update is for the board members, just finalizing all of our conference details. Please let me know. I need this information by October 6th so that I can finalize everything. If you're not going, if you're going reduced time, I need that information. And the other items are the agenda items that the board, we met on Monday, our finance team. If there's any questions there, I can answer those specifically. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay.
Unless there's some questions.
Board members, any
Have
questions?
questions?
I did have one question. It's
Sure.
not exactly finance, it's policy, but I had a question about our semi-funding. Do we
That's
get a waiver for that, or do we get the full funding for our semi?
So the waiver is only requested during the budget time when we had not met the state recommended revenue of reimbursements of revenue. So I think the waiver you're talking about has nothing to do with any fiscal part of it. It's just saying that the state gives us a target and they want us to reach it. And if we don't reach that target, we have to apply for a waiver so that we can continue receiving the funds.
Okay,
Okay.
and that happens at budget time? I guess?
During the budget time.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, thank you for the clarification.
No problem.
Okay, then if there are no questions, I mean, I guess we can't, maybe because we
Committee
can't really
reports?
we can't go through the committees, so
We
we
can
can
do
go.
a committee reports, right?
You can do committee reports and then they can report on them, we just
Okay.
can't vote on them. Yeah,
You can do everything but vote.
Right,
yes.
okay, sure. Okay, so then, we'll go through quickly and then we'll go. Okay. You know what, we could do that now. So I apologize, we did not open the floor to citizens on agenda items only. So, we're not gonna vote to open the floor, so should we just
Open the floor.
open the floor? Does anybody in the public have any on here or on, online, anything on the agenda?
Speaking of,
Okay.
Okay, all right, so we'll close the floor. And then let's move on to, committee reports. So, personnel and management, Mr. Guzman.
Yes, Madam President, once again, I'd like to extend, my deepest condolences for the loss of Miss Diane Cartena. She was definitely a pillar of the Haledon Public School community, and, extend, again, our sincere condolences to her family, friends, and all our educators here. Also want to congratulate Mr. Carlos Maxos, appointed to councilman. Thank him for his years of dedicated service to our school board. Also want to thank Mr. Motez Ramadan for his service as well. Want to congratulate Ms. Lillian Tarkowski on her well-earned retirement. She's also retiring as a dedicated crossing guard. She was our longest serving crossing guard here at Haledon, and she's going to definitely be a tremendous loss. Her work ethic was impeccable, regardless of rain, snow, sleet, hail. She was out there, and she's going to be a tremendous loss, not only here at HPS, but also at her intersection, Till Street and Southside Avenue here in our town.
come on.
And I commend the Puerto Rican committee for honoring her and her service as well. And I really thank them for recognizing everything she's done for our town and for our children. And lastly, once again, on behalf of the Personnel Committee, as the current chair, reaffirm our commitment to vetting all the hires brought forth by the superintendent. We will discuss it, go over it in committee before it reaches the agenda, and hopefully that will put some board members that are at ease as it pertains to fiscal responsibility. And with that being said, I guess no agenda items. Doesn't look like we'll be voting. So that concludes my report.
Let me take a look at the agenda too, right?
Thank you, Mr. Guzman.
So, please, so.
Yeah.
Let me just see the personnel, because I might need. Where's personnel? I missed it. We have the one new hire that I need. If we don't get a quorum tonight, we're gonna have to try again tomorrow or Friday or something. I gotta get this hire.
Can we consider a special meeting?
You can.
I think we're gonna need to.
So before
But-
Friday,
If I may, I would like to call a personnel meeting before that special meeting. Let's make sure, we go over that and.
How much advance notice do, because I need to get these people, how much advance
So you
notice?
have two issues. One of them is your policy requires, if you're gonna cancel tonight's meeting, which essentially we're doing, you have to have another meeting within a week.
Good.
So that's the far end. Special meetings need to be, it's 48 hours notice, but you have to get the notice to the newspaper. It doesn't have to be published within that period.
Oh, really?
No. Yes, really.
Wow.
you mean.
I believe you,
meaning they-
I'm surprised of this.
Mr. Brown, meaning they don't necessarily have to publish it.
Right,
That's
the
what
paper
you,
doesn't have. to
we can
publish
get it to them, but they're not necessarily gonna publish
Like
it.
if the paper doesn't come out till Wednesday. And
Right.
But the earliest we could have it is 48 hours from the end of this meeting,
Yeah,
correct?
so that would be Friday or Monday. whichever
Could we
one.
could we do a Saturday or Sunday if we had to?
That's up to you, whatever.
I want to know all options.
Guess we just need
I
to
could do
make sure that
Saturday,
the-
not Sunday.
I could do,
that the.
Is
that
Monday too
everyone's
late?
available.
no, it's not too late, but I just can't wait till the 27th.
Right.
Because I got a hot, like, most things can wait.
27th is Saturday.
Maybe October 27th, that's our next
Oh,
scheduled
We
meeting.
got time then.
But I'm saying I can't wait on the new hire till then. Like, that's something I need, to get board approved,
Well,
so if we could find, it doesn't have to be at 7 o'clock, I need 5 board members to come by next week.
We have to
He's
make
saying it's gonna be
sure-
next
We
week.
have to have a meeting
Not
within a
Within a
week.
week, yeah,
Right.
but we have to make sure that we can set a day that everyone could be there, because if you set it again and no one shows up, we'll be back in the same day. you
Right,
know, so
right.
let's-
So can it wait up for the, when we meet
It can wait till,
within a week?
within 5 days, yes. I
Okay.
just wanna make sure we don't, I didn't know that, in our specific policy, we had a 5-day cancellation, reschedule clause, which I think is probably a good reason for that we're seeing. So as long as this board's gonna look in good faith to get a day that we can get at least 5 people there.
Yeah. So, Ms. Augustin, before we leave tonight, of the board members who are here, let's see what day would work, and then if you can reach out, if Lois can reach out and see if that will work for the other board members.
Mhm.
And then we'll set it right now, because we have to do it. We have to meet within a week.
Madam President, I have
Yes.
a question.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be in person, like if it could be a virtual.
Could it, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would think so, because
At
if
this
this was completely unplanned, so I would think so,
We
we would
just
have
can't
to
do it.
accommodate.
Exactly.
Are you away?
No, but I don't know on my.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be fine, because, it's,
If your policy
this was
permits-
completely unexpected.
If your policy permits remote participation, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
And it won't count towards the, 4 virtual attendances, so, because this is very unexpected,
All right,
so.
what day do you want?
Honestly, we should be making a phone call right now to a couple of our board
No,
members.
we're not gonna do
making
that
that
during the
phone
board
call.
meeting, we're not gonna do that right now, but let's pick a date to see what will work best.
October 1st?
We're here,
Yeah,
so.
just give me, let's see, hold on.
Either Thursday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
So, okay, so it has to be Tuesday or Wednesday, right?
Mhm.
So, I cannot do it, I can't do it Wednesday.
I'm available Wednesday.
Okay,
I think
First
Thursday.
County, well, there's a county SBA meeting on Tuesday
Right, you
that
can't do
a
that.
whole lot of us were planning to go to, or a few of
Yeah.
us. So, I mean, that would be a shame if we had to miss that.
Wednesday or Thursday.
I can't do
I
Wednesday.
think Thursday is good.
Thursday, I could do Thursday, October 2nd.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could do, is Thursday good for Mr. Guzman and Mr. Martinez?
Yep,
I'm trying to remain flexible.
I'm flexible, so just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if
It's
folks
out.
could reach out, okay, okay. Thursday, okay. So let's move on, curriculum and technology, Ms. Quadrado,
Agenda items only.
okay. Policy, okay, Mr. Martinez, policy,
So, I guess 9.1.
well, we're not
moving.
just,
Oh,
just
yeah.
report out on what
So
we discussed.
agenda items only.
But we can report on our meeting.
We had a conversation earlier and, again, agenda items only, there's not much to.
We basically just
Yeah.
went over all the policies that are
Yeah.
on the agenda
Mhm.
tonight.
Madam President,
Yes,
if I may add something to my report?
Yeah.
I also want to extend my condolences to former Councilman Eamon Memkej, who we lost last week. He was a councilman here in our town, he was a business owner here in our town, and I want to make sure that we acknowledge his passing. He was the leader of the local Republican Party. And once again, I would hope that Haledon remains a community that despite your beliefs or your political views, when times are down, we all come together as a community and we push forward. So I just want to acknowledge his passing. Thank you.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, security and safety, Mr. Guzman?
Just items on the agenda, Madam President.
Okay, community engagement, Ms. Quadrado?
Just a couple of updates for some of the community events. I'm gonna start with HPS. The PTA pre-K through eighth grade fundraiser did start on the 15th of September and is ongoing until the next fundraiser, which will be in mid-October for the cheesecake fundraiser. So I look forward to that. Also with HBS, we have Picture Day coming up on the 7th, 8th, and the 9th. And then within the community of Haledon, on October 1st, the Haledon Police is hosting a coffee with a cop from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. at the Duncan. The Department of Health is coming out on October 2nd to the municipal building in the lobby, and they're gonna be giving out free flu shots for ages 6 months and up. Anyone under 17 must have a parent, and that's gonna be from 3 to 6 p.m. for any Passaic County residents. There's a couple of other events coming up in October. We have the Halloween Carnival, the 16th through the 19th, and that's hosted through the Haledon PVA Local 349. And then we also have Trunk or Treat coming up on the 18th. And of course, our libraries.
You said the 18th?
The
very
18th is
good.
a trunk or treat, yeah. And then the library has the calendar up with all of the fall events, which is a great source. And one more thing is on the 18th, they are offering also a pet clinic. That's gonna be in the Road Park.
Just for the record, that's also the Haledon Police Department. I
The
just wanna
police
point that
department
out.
hosting as well. Thank
They
you.
charge, they charge.
And that's all I have for community events.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Quadrado. Lots going on, a lot
Yes.
going on. Okay, and then finance and physical plant, Mr. Martinez.
I took care of some bills today. We just needed someone else to offset the signatures, and we should be all right with that.
And I just wanted to note that I'm going to appoint Mr. Martinez. He's actually the only remaining member of the finance committee. And I'm going to appoint you as chair of the finance committee.
Oh, boy, Ralph.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Should we do this for applause?
Yeah, you get applause, Ralph.
I was signing no bills in trade, right? Thank you, guys.
Okay, so, Stadium County, Mr. Brown. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Stadium County, Ms. Quadrado. I skipped.
All right, so since our, good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting, there has been a few new updates which I compiled for you guys, and you have a handout in front of you. The Department of Education is piloting an adaptive version of the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, the NJSLA, in English, Language Arts, and Math for grades 3 through 9. And these adaptive tests are designed to shorten testing time while improving accuracy. Training was completed by September 19th, and field testing for this will take place this fall in selected schools across the state. New Jersey Department of Education has also issued model policies under the Freedom to Read Act, which requires districts to update library material selections and review processes, and the School Boards Association has launched the 2020-16 Tech Challenge to promote student innovation. On funding, the Department of Environmental Protection announced a $20 million in new grants for electric school buses and charging stations. To date, $55 million has already been funded to 169 buses statewide. And these applications are due September 26th for buses and October 25th for charging stations, with awards of up to $100,000 per port. Locally, the NJSBA will host a candidates briefing on September 29th at Manchester Regional High School in Haledon, and the Passaic County School Boards will meet on September 30th, next Tuesday, in Clifton to focus on school finance with legislators. Looking ahead in October, we have the NJSBA annual workshop in Atlantic City later in the month, and then the New Jersey Department of Education is also expected to release updated school performing room reports and revised state and aid projections in October.
Great. Any questions, board members?
Yeah, Madam President, several years ago, we put in for this same grant. via the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And I believe we were awarded a grant for a electric school bus and a charging station. I'm not sure what the scope of the grant was at the time, or if it has changed now, but there was a reason why we couldn't procure the actual bus. I forgot what happened.
No, the charging stations would have cost us over
And then
like
this-
$100,000.
The state also too, because this is, remember Victor was so into that.
Mhm.
The state misestimated or underestimated the total cost, and we would have had to pay a lot out of pocket when we were told we'd have to pay zero out of pocket, and it just wasn't cost effective.
It wasn't cost effective. Now, if I may, I know we're under the gun here, but if we could take a look at the scope of the new grant, maybe they changed it, maybe now they're covering everything, and if they did, it could be something as simple as grabbing the old verbiage from the old grant application and just submitting it, and maybe it'll this time around it'll be cost effective.
We would have to, if we may, let's look at the wording on that, right? Because I'm in.
It changes, sure.
I'm in clean energy, right? That's what I do. I'm in clean energy, so if we have to look at it and see, you know, what the big beautiful bill and what other options we have that are helping us get these finances going.
I know, like,
Maybe we can get it.
I think long term, we've done so many different projects here in the last couple of years. I think the next thing in the long-term facilities list that I'm gonna advocate strongly for is an upgrade of the student and faculty bathrooms. I'd like that to be a capital project. And I think that if we get the electric bus and the state's gonna keep their terms consistent from soup to nuts of this,
Sure.
then that's something that I think would be a really good thing for the board to look into, and we could look into both. But I think those are two projects that I think would be wise for our district to look into.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Collado. That was very thorough. Okay, Mr. Brown, anything to report?
No, I've just answered a few questions from Ms. Beston and the HR people, and there's no litigation going on, so life's good.
Nice.
Yep.
Keep up
Definitely
the good
good.
We
work.
want to keep it that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
For now.
Okay,
Never the optimist.
so, just jumping ahead to new and old business. I have one item that I want to discuss, but if anybody else has anything for new or old business. Yes, Ms. Cordero?
I just wanted to mention to our board members that I did send out a survey, which is for our committee, for the onboarding committee, to start compiling together the answers to the questions, so that we can have some kind of onboarding system put in place by the time the new board members in January comes. So if you guys can just check your emails out, fill out the survey. It is anonymous, so I won't know who's saying what. And then, thank you.
Yeah, and it's a quick survey. I already took it, and it'll take you like 5 minutes. So your input would be appreciated, so that Ms. Quadrado and Mr. Martinez, and I'm not sure if anybody else is on your group, can start to compile that. Thank you. Anybody else? So along those lines, and this is just to give it some context, these were initiatives that came out of our board retreat in May. Feedback from board members of things they wanted to work on, things that, you know, would help improve our board. And so we have these 3 initiatives that we made ad hoc committees for. Everybody got assigned to a committee, and the committees were basically charged with looking at those initiatives. There was like a framework that Ms. Mitchell, who is our NJSBA rep, provided for us for each initiative to kind of use as a guideline to, you know, base the work around that, and what we would recommend based on, you know, what would this initiative, how would we, what would this look like? What recommendations would you make to the whole board? So Ms. Quadrado's was new employee orientation, onboarding. And then the one that I was kind of leading was the committees, and basically restructuring our committee, our board committee work, so that committees can delve a little bit deeper into the areas, take ownership of the areas, and then report out to the board, just as the personnel committee will be doing. We want to do that with all of our boards. So we met in August, then our group met again today. We talked about it, Mr. Guzman, Ms. Quadrado and I, we talked about, we drafted some recommendations, we looked at our recommendations, we tweaked them. We drafted scope of each committee, and we're gonna present that at the October meeting. So, and then the goal is to start that practice going forward in January for all board members to, you know, once they're assigned to their committees, start going with these recommendations, but we'll save that for October, once everything is, we just made some tweaks to it at our meeting today, so we'll report out on that in October. And then Ms. Quadrado, your group can report out, once you gather all the survey information and you know, work out your plan and your recommendations. There was one other group, but now that group is down to one person. So we'll have to see what we do with that one. That one had to do with data, assessing the data, gathering data, and then, you know, seeing what we would, you know, because data is only as good as what you do with it. So what are we going to do with data that we request? So that we'll have to see what we do with that group. But that's it for new and old business for me. If everybody is good.
I mean, I just want to share that I've been a board member here for about 7 years right now, right? And it's tough and it's upsetting sometimes when the whole group is not available. And listen, obviously everybody has lives and life happens and all that stuff, but the responsibility that we have for our community and the responsibility that we have to our kids is super important. So, I mean, listen, if anybody's listening out there, come to the meetings and be available, because we need to get things done. That's all I got.
Well said, Ref.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Madam President,
Yes.
I want to acknowledge Mr. Jeff Fisher, Mr. Ellen Fisher, who are here tonight too. Thank them for being here.
Hey, yes.
That's how veteran board members, yes. And Mr. Fisher is still a board member on Manchester Board of
I
Education.
wish you guys could vote tonight.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Like an honorary.
An ad hoc board member.
Substitute board member.
Thank you.
You're right, Jeff, you're right.
Okay,
Alright.
so with that, I'm going to, well, I guess we'll just open the floor. We're not gonna vote on it, right? So we'll just open the floor to citizens. We'll start with folks who were here in person, and then we can go to anyone who's online who wants to speak. Just some housekeeping rules, 3 minutes. Please state your name, your address, and if you're a staff member, you obviously don't live in Hale, or not obviously, but you may not live in Haledon. So just state that, you know, your role in the school, and yeah, 3 minutes to talk. So we'll start with folks who are here. Would anybody like to address the board?
I just have a question.
Yes.
About this not being voted on or voted on. We do have teachers that have to go to PD for state testing that are on there.
What is the date? Is it before
No,
October?
it's tomorrow, Thursday.
So,
Mr.
So
Brown,
they are
Send-
tested, I need to send them,
I can't.
and they're carpooling, so I don't know.
let's
if
just
they're-
hear what,
Mr. Brown,
I think you campaigned.
No, they have to go.
We just can't
We can we like
You can-
make
you
a
can-
retroactive?
I'm sure, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
To
we
answer your
can make a
question,
retroactive-
Send them, we'll pay them.
Do we have the
right
board president's permission for me to authorize them to go in advance?
Yeah, that's fine. It's
and
like
then
summer
we
hire.
will
Well,
approve it retroactively in this unique situation because the event is
I'm
tomorrow.
sorry, I'm not
and-
trying to I just
No,
need
I
to
have
know
another
that I
question.
can
That's
send it
fair.
to
I
No,
have
it's-
another question, to our board attorney, if I may, Madam President.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
If
Guzman.
the superintendent truly feels, especially as it pertains to special education, which is something I'm very passionate about, he needs a hire. Do they have the authority to make a conditional offer of hire? And if the board later on, if several board members don't want to approve it or something along those lines, and let the board vote it up or down, is that a possibility? If he needs this hire, like he's saying?
yes, it's a possibility, but if you're on the receiving end of that conditional offer,
Sure.
you're not leaving a job until you have a firm offer.
Okay.
So that would create a little bit of tension in terms of you bring in somebody who's unemployed or who's looking for their first job, that's different.
Could be a problem.
It would be a problem for an experienced staff member.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I could see an issue where, let's just say it ends up being very temporary, the students become attached to that teacher, and then, within like a month or whatever it may be. Yeah, so it's not really a good situation.
Okay, understood.
Great question.
Floor is still
Okay,
open.
so
The floor is still open, right?
I'm sorry?
The floor
Yeah,
is
the floor is
still
still
open.
open. Anybody else? Folks who are here, Miss Fisher, go ahead.
Yeah, Ellen Fisher, 3 Avenue C, Hale, New Jersey, former board member of 21 years of Manchester and the Haledon Board of Education.
Come on.
I'd like to say something about Diane. I had the privilege of working with Diane for many years. She gave not only 110% and above to the students of Haledon Public School. She will be missed. And I know by the students, by the parents, and again, like George had said, we all will miss her here at Haledon School. And for Lillian, I've known Lillian probably for like 45 years. And Lillian is a hard worker. She was here when my kids were here. She always was very happy and friendly, and you'd see her on the corner of Tilt Street and Southside, she'd wave to everybody. She was a great asset also to Haledon, and she knew all the kids, she knew all the students, she knew what they needed or whatever, and she never judged anybody. She was great. And the last thing I want to say is what Mr. Martinez said, being on the Board of Education is a privilege. You're serving your community, you're serving not only the community, but the students of the district. And I feel that that's very important to be here. And to Mr. Waka, I give you a lot of credit for being superintendent and doing your best, and all board members here. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Fisher, go ahead.
Jeff Fisher, 3 Avenue C, Haledon, New Jersey. I'd just like to back up everybody's comments about Diane. She's a great loss, but I'm gonna say something that you don't normally hear a board member say. And that is, it was a pleasure and a privilege to negotiate across the table with her. She was, everything that she was in school as being professional, she was the same, if not more, in negotiations. We had, I don't want to say we had a wonderful time, but it was productive. We came to agreement, and I've been through good and bad negotiations. And when Diane was in the room, it was always a good negotiation. So I just want to, pass on my condolences as well as everybody else. I wish he were here tonight. I'll see him probably tomorrow at the high school. But I want to thank Carlos for his service here. He was, a great board member, a great person, and fortunately, we now have him as our great chef up at Manchester. And he's done a wonderful job with our lunch program. But I just want to thank him for all his years of service, and congratulations to him on his new appointment. And just to bring that point up, tomorrow, you're all welcome. The Haledon Council is going to have their meeting at Manchester tomorrow. And one of the things they're going to do is they're going to recognize not one, but 2 in a row, Manchester Regional High School County Teachers of the Year. Had one in I don't know how many years, and we had Bernadette Orcida as Spanish instructor last year, and now we have Elizabeth Bitar, science teacher this year. So 2 in a row is like unheard of. And you're all welcome to come to Manchester, and you can see our new Performing Arts Center with the largest in the state video screen.
Let's go.
That's being tracked. And I also want to back up something that Mr. Guzman said about your hiring practices. I've heard about something that happened in May, and I looked at your minutes and I saw that I think it was 4 or 5 of the superintendent's recommendations were voted down, but And I know I've heard George, I think at different meetings, talk about, especially when it comes to special ed, how important it is. If you haven't already, as a board, you will get a reputation. And what'll happen is you'll get less applicants because they will say, well, that's a rogue board. And even if the superintendent and the principal and the vice principal, even if the superintendent recommends you, you may not get the job. Which is why Mr. Brown mentioned that they're not gonna give up their old job until they have not a conditional, but a permanent appointment. So I would just recommend that you all take this, as Mr. Martinez said, you have to take this seriously, okay? Or else you're gonna end up, in bad position. And when the superintendent says that he has to go outside to a vendor to hire a special education teacher, that kind of tells me something about where you're at. So I hope things improve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Goodson.
Can you come back to the next board meeting? So that all over again?
Just tell them.
We got him on Zoom. We got him.
And I want to say, thank you so much for the invitation tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's a PTA meeting tomorrow, the first one of the year at 7. But if I can get over there, in time, I will make it. And
It's okay, you're better half of it.
yeah, he will. Okay, so anybody else that's here? Okay, so I believe there was somebody online that wanted to, Ms. Who?
Lillian?
Ms. Bias.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Ms. Baez.
Liliana, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
She's muted. I don't know if we have to unmute.
She's unmuted.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Ms. Baez, can you hear us? Okay,
You have to activate the audio, Mr. Miller?
She might have stepped out. I don't know.
yeah. Is there anybody else? We could always come back to her.
Motion to close it. You're not
Well,
available.
hold on. Let's see if there's anybody else who wants to.
No one else is there.
Well, you're not closing anything, right?
Yeah,
We can
that's
close
true.
it.
Anybody else, Mr. Miller?
This is the first time we have
Yeah,
that
she
forum.
raised her
First
hand.
I've ever seen it.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, one more time. Are you there, Ms. Baez? Okay, well,
Well, she says she's there.
If her audio is not connected.
oh,
Yep, now it looks like she connected and muted.
okay. Is there anything in the
So
chat?
Maybe in a second, maybe give her a second to see.
Okay,
Hello, can anybody hear?
okay, well,
She there, she is.
oh, she's coming?
Yeah, I just heard her.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you
Yay.
now.
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I was trying to raise my hand earlier when you opened the floor and you guys, I'm sorry, technical difficulties here. Liliana Vice, 430 Morrissey Ave in Haledon. So I just wanted to congratulate Miss Lillian on her well-deserved retirement and wish her all the very best in the next chapter of her life. She will definitely be missed, and it's difficult to follow the Fishers because they pretty much touched on every point that I wanted to touch upon. But the children will always remember Miss Lillian and the impact that she made. In her role as a crossing guard, she not only kept our children safe on one of the busiest and dangerous intersections in Haledon, but she also went above and beyond. She made sure that she brought a lot of joy to that corner by dressing up during the holidays. And, it was always very cute to see her there. She would bring gifts to the children. And you will see the kids crossing and running up to her and hug her on a daily basis. And I just wanted to point that out because that kind of kindness and dedication is remarkable and it will not be forgotten. Crossing guard plays a vital role in our community, and unfortunately, we don't have enough in our town. And Lillian carried out her duties with both heart and joy. And in her honor, I really hope that measures are being taken to make that intersection safer. That is something that she always hoped for, and I hope that some kind of bump guard or something is done. So once again, congratulations to Miss Lillian. And I also did like Mr. Fisher mentioned, I wanted to invite everyone tomorrow in terms of community events to the, there are two events that are taking place tomorrow. So the first one is at 5:30. We're hosting a guided tour and dinner for local realtors to provide them with facts about our district and talking points. And then, like Mr. Fisher said, at 7 o'clock, the council is having their meeting, and I believe it's not only the recognition to the both county teachers of the year, but there's also some promotions that are taking place. So it's going to be a very nice meeting that's being held at the PAC tomorrow. And that's it for me.
Great, thank you, Ms. Baez.
Madam
Yes,
President, I just want to add to what Ms. Baez was saying. There's also for tomorrow, I believe that's the official swearing in for Carlos Mosco in his
oh,
council seat.
okay. Oh, that's nice, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, lots going on in town, it's all good, it's all good, and it's wonderful to see. Is there anybody else? Okay, well, then in that case, I guess, I mean, we don't even adjourn officially, right? Because,
Baby
I
is
mean,
over.
we can adjourn, but thank you everyone for coming. Hope to see you at more meetings and, you know, we hope you have a great school year.
We get a reduced rate for legal for committee meetings?
No.
No?
I'll do what I can.
Nice.
And thank you
Unfortunately,
to
not
folks
my
on
choice.
the, online who logged in. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Good night,
Guys,
everyone.
thank you.
Also, everybody who showed up.